name cried Christian Fletcher. Christian by name and Christian by nature, for I was the wife o' the Reverend James Granger, the minister doon at the kirk at Kneff. Maist folk have never heard of me, but I played an important part in Scotland's history, ye ken, for I helped to rescue the honours of Scotland. And this is how it happened. Well, a while back in the 1660s, Oliver Cromwell had put Charles I to death. He was nae royalist though, man, I can tell you. Well, the thing was that Charles I's loon, cried Charles in awe, come to the northeast of Scotland to see if he could rally up enough support to try and take a crown back. Well, he bid the necht at Dunnottar afore he got doon to Scone, for he was crowned King Charles II. Well, when Oliver Cromwell heard about this, he was nane ower pleased, and he sent an army north, and afore long they had captured Edinburgh Castle. Well, Charles was feared that the English army would get a hold of the royal regalia, the crown, the sceptre and the sword of Scotland, so he sent them up to Dunnottar, where they could be kept safe. Well, all was gone all right for a while. But oh me, the Ogilvies and other men were seen put under siege by the English army. And for 8 months they fought off the English. But day after day they were being bombarded by cannon, and it looked like the castle would eventually fall. But they couldn't let the crown jewels get into English hands. So it was my pal, Mrs. Ogilvy, who come up with a plan. She never even told her hubby about it. Nah, she says, I'm nae telling you anything about this. For if you get captured, you might be tortured and forced to tell far the crown jewels are gone. So I'm just going to keep it to mysel. And that's what she did. Well, to hersel and to me, for I was part of the plan. And this is what it got doon. I teen a servant lass with me, and we got doon into Stonehaven, and we bought a great big basket full of flax. Syne I got up to the English camp, and I pleaded wi' the Major General Morgan, the manny in charge. I spirited him if I could ging and visit my pal Mrs. Ogilvy in Dunnottar Castle. Well, he couldn't see ony harm in twa women gone to visit another woman, and he granted permission. And so I got off my horsey, and me and the lass went in to Dunnottar Castle. And when we arrived, we sent the lass awa on an errand, and Mrs. Ogilvy and me went into her room, for we wrapped up the crown and the sceptre and the sword in linen, and we put them deep into the flax in a basket that would teen in wi' us. Syne we sat down and had a cup of tea and a clack, for it had to appear true that I'd come to visit my pal. Syne after a while, we loaded up the lass again with the flax and basket, and headed back to the English camp. The Major General himself helped me back onto my horse and bade me a safe journey back to the manse. Well, awa we went, and that night, when we arrived back at the manse, I teen the basket into my room, into the room for the minister and I slept, and we actually slept with the crown jewels at our feet that night. Syne after that, we dug a hole aneath the flagstones in the kirk, and we buried the honours of Scotland safe and kept them there for 9 long stormy years, until Charles II was reinstated and we could give him back the royal crown jewels. Sadly, my pal Mrs. Ogilvy wasna there to see that proud day, for she had died van being held captive by the English. But I bet she was looking down on us, proud as punch at her part in saving these precious jewels o' Scotland.